since I went to town. No, that weed ain't ready yet. I was trying to get to the grass back there, but I wasn't quick enough to get my camera up. Of course, gotta meet a bicycle on a corner. And there's no real shoulder on this road, so yeah. Technically, he's got on the outside of that white line, no matter whether it's 3 inches or 3 feet of pavement. Yeah. Grass seed is windrowed. Another patch back there they've already combined. Crimson is what I've seen so far is combined. Already got the ground worked up. Usually that's what most guys do as soon as they get done combining, they at least get it disked up. But anyway, I got me some parts in the back. Go visit with Tom, see if I can come back with something ready to use. And see what the day actually brings. I mean, it's overcast again, but oh my God, it was icky last night. Didn't have the AC on in the trailer, and the time I went to bed, of course at 9:30 there was a coyote behind the shop, and I didn't find him, but you know, 5 foot tall dried up grass out there, it's not like they don't blend in. But anyway, thought I'd come back and go to bed, and just like somebody threw me in the shower. So turned the AC on and plopped and tossed around for a while, and AC was still on this morning, and it was comfortable. I ain't gonna say any more than that, it was comfortable. There's your lineup. Yeah, it'd be nice to have some newer equipment like that. But there's old grass seed straw. I've seen it heavier. I mean, there's a fair amount of bales out there, but it's still really not quite what there is most of the time. And yeah, still going to town. The sun's starting to make a little prettier appearance. Well, there's some sweet corn for you. It might have been knee high by the 4th of July, and on the other road straight over there, there's some more sweet corn that's, well, it might be ankle high now. That's just enough where you can tell it's corn. Morey's been out swathed, and I think he's done now. This is probably some of what Morey swathed. Working for his friend Lauren. I guess the other night he was teaching somebody how to swath. They got a lot of grass seed. And yeah, of course, when you got the cleaning mill, and you got 2 setups in there, because the new setup's right behind that commodities building. You gotta have a lot of grass seed. Interesting cloud. It was a blob. Now it looks like a hand reaching for something. Sapphire's being timid this morning. Oh, no, she's gonna come in. Come in ahead of Boomer's boy. 241 says, "What are you waiting for?" What you waiting for? Yeah? Okay. Alright, I better do it. Benham's group actually came in, but he didn't. And of course, Dino's right here. He always looks good standing next between the 2 biggest cows on the place, right there and right there. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's shorter than Big Girl. This Big Girl's standing downhill from him. Anyway, I think they want something to eat. Get feeding done. I got to finish that part. Tom had it almost done when I got there and pressed her in, and all I got to do is drill a hole in the bushing for the grease, and I might even put it in the lathe and put a groove in the middle of it, give the grease a better chance of getting around. And there's Hernia boy. He's a good looking boy, and he's gotten to be more friendly too. Okay, anyway, they're getting restless. Yeah, ground wire's hooked there. I just put my helmet away and bench is moved to get to that. Now I'll show you why. I got the grease hole drilled. I still got to put the jerk in yet. Almost forgot that, but got drilled through the bushing, and then I put that in the lathe, and I put a groove all the way around right where that grease hole comes out. Added a shim back here because this is still a little warm. When that was on, right there, it's just got that little tiny bit. Well, put an 1/8 inch shim in, so that gives you an idea. That was able to move about that much before. And then I thought, you know, I know a way we can prevent that from being an issue again. That's just a chunk of pipe. It was in my bushings. The reason the threaded end is there is, number one, I needed the length of that. I only took 1/2 inch or 5/8 off. It's also a good square end. I didn't have to do anything to it, just stick it on. And I know, well, it looks kind of shitty, but I was trying to keep from heating it up, and I didn't want to have to take this apart. But here's my idea. That sits there, so this thing can't wobble back and forth, which means that bushing can't get onto the spline, which is part of what I think happened. Because, I mean, you know, when you're up there and you're taking this thing off, there's always some pressure against it, so when you pull this out, this would always come out like that. I mean, personally, I think they should have made it a little wider. I mean, there's 1.25 inches on there, it's enough, but they should have made it a little wider and then put a clip in there to keep this from moving out. But that's what I got going on. I'm gonna grind a little of that off. There's one there that might do a little slicey, but we'll clean it up anyway. Then this thing can hopefully get put back together and get going. And it's taken way too long this morning, but you know, everything over here was in my way, of course. And what's in that box is a bunch of stuff that's supposed to have been put away along with those manuals. Not like we got a place to put them though. There it is. I had to cut a notch. I know, I made a big notch. Didn't need to make it that big, but that's just how it worked out where I could get in to do it without taking the thing off. And while it's in here, I mean, we're plenty late to go get it going anyway now. Let's see if we can do something with that pulley and give us a little better speed range. And I'd love to be able to put the thing back in here and tell how fast we're moving, but unfortunately, I haven't been able to find one of those yet. From a 3 pulley to a 2, well, 2.5, that's still the, cut it off with a little cut off and stuck it in the lathe and cleaned it up. And where that sets, that little one's perfectly lined up with the big one, which means the big one should be perfectly lined up with the other one. And this floats anyway. It slides back and forth. So, should be good to go. And a little late, but our rig parts came in, so Ty is headed to town. Pick those up. And, yeah, I guess we're going to go, well, we'll see how things are going. I still got to get that custom baling job done, and the guys called me, but I was on the phone. Now he's busy texting me again. And, yeah, it's going to be a day. It's so freaking humid today, it ain't funny. I mean, 8:30 this morning, I was sweating, and it was overcast, and I thought it would feel better. But, of course, it doesn't. So, anyway, put the belt on, put the shield on, and be done with this thing. I swear all I've done today is drive around and work on stuff. Went over after lunch, took the little baler over, checked the custom job we had to do. I knew it'd be plenty dry. Actually ran from 8.5% to 10.5%, which is way too dry, but not like we've had a chance to get to it sooner. And he never let me know that he cut it until after it was raked and ready to bale. And, you know, kind of hard to schedule stuff in when you're already too busy. So got that today. Didn't get any of our own cut. Go figure. Just had to move some stuff because Maury's hauling some concrete chunks off a job, and they're chunks that we can use, since we got to kind of rebuild where the pump site is, so we can hold the pump up there. Another year or so, high but not high enough water level is going to finish taking that out. And Ty should be done over here at this place when I get there. She don't get that tractor kicked in the butt on the road. She can never get it into fourth on the main, so just easier for me to go get it, bring it home. I planned on going up and getting the rake fixed. Never made it there. So, and look, big bales. Maury told me when he was coming past there, he says, "Oh, I see some little bales out here." I said, "Okay, I'll see you in a minute then." So, anyway, too friggin' warm, definitely too friggin' muggy. Blakely was out for a little bit because Brooke had to fix the right back window on her pickup. That happens to be where Blakely rides, and the other night the window dropped to the bottom, tried to drop to the bottom of the door. Window regulator assembly was toast. So that kind of worked out. I got the shop emptied so she could do that, and then we came over to get the baler going. And I want to get past him. Well, maybe I won't. I will. Yeehaw! Get past him now so I can be out of his way in just a minute. I'm going to do some video, and I was too slow. Talking about whiskey drinking. He sticks his whole nose in.
So you full snout.
He goes up to his head in that position, but up to the back of his lips. So his whole nose is in the water.
It kills me. He's always done that.
And then when he drinks so much, then he gets up, then he coughs and spits a little water out his nose, and he goes back at it.
He literally, since he was 6 weeks old, he has done this.
I was too slow. And I don't know how it is out here, but it's plenty hot. It's still pretty muggy. I don't remember where I left off. She finished up baling.
I hate that.
One of the freaking daughters is still being a pain in the ass. We're guessing somewhere around a dozen bales broken, 154 on the counter, so still not, that's half what it should be for over there. But the nice thing is, if anybody remembers the trouble we had last year, because it always ends up with wet spots in it, but this year it literally laid there for 2 weeks, so it was dry, and it actually came up looking good. Top of the windrows is bleached out, but the rest of it was nice and green.
The patch you started on was way too dry towards the end, but...
Oh, yeah, when you finished that.
No, the first...
Oh, the big one?
That first field, yeah.
That's got full sun all day long. The other two don't, but, 8.5 to 10.5% moisture. It's too freaking dry, but it's in the bale, and, being that dry, they're a little lighter bales for him, so it's done. We don't got to worry about that.
Thank you, Jesus.
I never did make it up on the hill to get the rake fixed, and it don't look like I'm going to.
Hell no.
And Tyler noticed when she got here this morning, we can see a little more ground up on the hill.
It's hard to tell from here, but when you're up on the road.
Well, from here you can kind of see it. I guess that's zoomed all the way in. I don't know if you can tell or not, but just about middle of the screen, you can see a field. Yeah, we haven't been able to see that for a few years. Trees are out of the way now. I don't know how much they've got out of the way up there, but they started hauling logs by here this morning.
When you look from the top of the driveway that way, it's an entire naked hill.
Yeah. So, anyway, that's the story for today. John Deere's sitting in the shop because I'm going to make sure the front tires are pumped up good.
She needs to be greased.
And she needs to be greased before we go picking bales up, because I already showed you bales up there in that patch, and there's bales up on top of that hill where the equipment's parked, and there'll be more. It'd be nice to have a drop deck trailer that I could, stop along the road at that little piece, pick those bales up, load the tractor on the trailer, and go up on the hill the rest of the way and finish. But I don't have that luxury yet. I do have another trailer.
But then you would take my fun away.
Yeah, take her fun away. Another trailer, it's actually almost a twin to this, but it doesn't have the sliding tandems. It's on air and they're at the very back, and my plan is to chop it right behind the landing gear and make a drop deck out of it.
Delane.
Put some small tires on the back and get it low to the ground and put a hydraulic tail on it. That's the plan. That's been the plan, but I own the trailer. I just don't have possession of it. I still got to go get it. And I keep thinking I need to go do that while the old guy's still alive that I got to deal with, but I do have the title. Hopefully my trailer's still sitting in his place. Anyway, that's another story. Of course, when we bought, I horse traded for it. I had a trailer he wanted, and he wasn't using that one anymore. When that trade happened, we still had the neighbors, and I parked the trailers down there. I had a place to put them besides in the way here. So anyway, that's another story. Should feed some cows, but I don't think we're going to do that today. I think we're going to get that tractor ready and roll it the rest of the way in the shop because I didn't put it all the way in because there's stuff in the way. And then I think we're going to call it a day, other than I got to wait for Maury to come back with some more concrete chunks. Which, if he's right, he should be about another 45 minutes or so.